What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of Relab Live. Today I'd like to talk to you about a very important subject, at least to me, which is trying to identify the right customers or clients for you. It's a subject that has been stuck in my mind for a while because I myself have learned so much trying to know, the type of people and customers that is ideal for us. Oftentimes it's not ideal, and over the time you learn through it. Actually, I should rephrase. At the beginning, it's often not ideal, but over the time, once you've learned your craft and you know exactly the type of things that you're good at, then hopefully you'll be able to find the path to your ideal customers, which I'd like to talk to you about. I guess my thoughts really on that. Today is a very, very nice day here in Melbourne. I've got my iced coffee sponsored by 7-Eleven. No, I'm joking about that actually. So follow me and I'm going to talk to you about how to find your ideal customers. So I wanted to talk to you about a very important subject that I've learned over the last couple of years myself while running Relab. It's pretty much about identifying the right people that you want to work with. Specifically in this episode, I'd like to talk about how to identify the right clients for you. And to do this, I find one of the most important thing is for you to know who you are, essentially, and what your service is and what your product. So knowing your service and your product is very, very important. Knowing, we talked about the true north in our previous episode prior to this one, but it's really trying to understand your true north, what the vision is and what the direction of your business is, or at least have some sort of a plan and where you want to go, because then it gives you an idea what's relevant and what's not. So knowing your vision and goal is very important as well, because in doing so, you're able to, qualify your potential leads better, because then you'll question more about what their background is in terms of their business, what they want to do, what they want to achieve, and that you have a similar, vision in terms of approaching things and the approaches of operations in general. Now, speaking specifically from a digital agency or a digital design agency point of view, an experience that I've had in the past was having to work with someone who really has the same taste and the same vision, really read the same things as me, and we have that sort of similarities going on, which make things a lot easier. It's a bit like you have to question less things without having to know, without having to spend a lot of time as well to be able to get a feel of what they're after. So that's very important to have that sort of similarity between you and your potential customer or your client. So number one is knowing your vision and your goal, because then you can relate more with the type of leads or potential businesses that you're going to work with together to help you qualify which are the ones that would be an ideal client or customer for you. Number two is for you to really know the value of your product and services. But if you know what sells from your product and services and what makes you different, then it gives you a clearer idea as well on what type of benefits or value that you could bring into the table that it benefits the other party at the opposite side of the table. What that means is you fully understand and you're very clear about the value that you bring into the project or into the customer's business, that you're relevant to them, that it makes sense that you're partnering with each other for a certain vision together. So by knowing your product and services really, really well as well, and to have that level of self-awareness, you're able to identify the type of people or the type of companies or group of people who would need your service or product. That way you're able to approach that certain group, the ideal group that you want to work with, and qualify from there. So I guess knowing your product and services value really, really well gives you another filter for you to be able to think forward and think from a bigger picture about the type of people that you want to deal with, right? And knowing your services and products as well means not just the selling points, not just the good stuff, but really for you to know what's the weakness as well. Identifying your weakness within your product or services is very, very important, because then you're able to evaluate what you've been doing, whether it's right or wrong, what to improve, what to fix. In doing so, again, you're able to find, I guess that happens through experience, but then you will be able to find the ideal type of customers or people that you want to work with simply by knowing what your weaknesses are. That means you're able to, again, qualify. These are the type of people that we want to work with. These are not exactly the type of people because of reasons 1, 2, and 3, and so on. But knowing yourself more and knowing your product and services more really, really does help. The third thing is about really learning from the past and identifying those who see the value in your products and services. Now, we're talking about the people rather than yourself, or rather than your product and services, as opposed to points number 1 and 2. But it's really about, I guess, studying the type of people that you work with or the potential leads to see who really value your product and services. Because over time, it becomes even more so important if you work with people who actually value your services. With us, for example, at Relab, it's really the most rewarding type of projects are really the ones where you get to work at a partner level rather than a client at an agency level. If that doesn't really make sense, what that means is you take the project to the next level when the relationship is about you as a partner rather than you as an operator. So instead of the customer or the client coming to you and having you do things based on their way, but they actually require suggestions and for you to be proactive and for you to give some sort of an input and really fully trust you with the things that you do, that they see the value in it. On top of that, the very important thing is you need to be paid. You need to be paid reasonably as well. So within this third point, I guess the other thing that I'd like to add is you need to, other than just identifying the people that you want to work with or the people who see the value in working with you or your business, is that they actually pay as well. The reason why it is important is because then, from my own experience, you get, because Relab at the moment is in this limbo, as I say, in between a small agency to a medium agency. We're also trying to qualify better with our customers, because if you start to compromise the smaller projects and treat them like how you would treat the big projects that has, that has a more reasonable dollar value to you, then over time you start to question, why am I working so hard for something so small, whereas there's other potential and other opportunities in this other bigger one that I'm spending the same type of effort. So understanding that and I guess judging or comparing to what you're actually getting paid is very, very important as well, because then it makes more sense for you to invest on a certain type of project or customer more than the other that values you less. Okay, so I guess all of this will happen as you go through over the years, as for myself as well, but really learning from the past, you'll be able to see what brings value back to you and what's the return is like in terms of your type, or in terms of your type of investment, whether it's time or money. Okay, and the fourth thing is really trying to, once you've got all of that, it's then about building the trust and the relationship over time, that it lasts for a very, very long time. They say great minds think alike, but once you've got that point, the first, second, and third point, then I think you'll narrow down yourself to this group of people that I call center of influence, which means you're most probably you'll be meeting the same type of people who has that same vision, that same kind of taste as you, that see similar things that, in a good way, that it makes things so much easier when you wanted to work together with these group of people. So once you get to a certain level, most likely you'll be introduced to other people or other connections within our Center of Influences network that is more relevant to what you're doing and has the same view and have the same principles, that it really does help in terms of keeping a good client or a good customer base. So those 4 things I think are the most important at this stage in terms of how to identify the people that you really want to work with. And obviously no one's perfect. I myself have done many mistakes in the past in terms of working with customers. There are people who takes advantage out of us, but there are people who really brings so much value into us as well. But then all we can do is just learn from it. And as you grow and as you get older, as I am as well, you'll learn you'll learn this in a quicker way as well, that you don't have to spend years and years to find out. Hopefully that makes a good sense to you, and hopefully it brings some value to you as well. And I'll stay in touch in the next vlog, okay? All right, have a good day, guys.